November 13th, SAP Center in San Jose. She'll be among the inductees into the San Jose Sports Hall of Fame. It's going to take a while to get through her many accomplishments. Of course, three-time gold medalist, beach volleyball, all-time leader in victories. Kerri Walsh Jennings with us. How are you today, Kerri?
I'm so well. How are you guys doing?
We're doing fine. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. Congratulations on this honor. I know you've been honored many times in many ways around the world. How does this particular San Jose Sports Hall of Fame honor feel?
Well, that's kind of a homecoming for me. I just moved back to town after about 24 years being gone. So it's a pretty amazing way to come back and get back into the community. Considering the class I'm going into with the gentleman I'm with, it's quite an honor. And knowing the distinguished, legacy of this Hall of Fame, it's pretty overwhelming, to be honest. I always try to dismiss these things. I was like, oh, that's all old news. I want to do great stuff. But to be honored in this way at home is very special.
Hey, Kerri, it's Kyle Draper here. When I look at your accomplishments and where volleyball has taken you, could you have imagined, a young girl from Santa Clara, from, Stanford University, could travel the world playing the sport you love?
I'm like not a forward thinker. I'm an in the moment human. And so I never even allowed myself to think of how big could this be, So I guess the short answer is no. That being said, I just had so much fun, and winning is so fun and so motivating. And I had a lot of that, in my career, which was such a blessing that, it all kind of makes sense because it just felt like a perfect storm of support, of love for the game, love for the journey. And that fuels you really far, as you guys know.
Kerri Walsh Jennings with us, going to be inducted into the San Jose Sports Hall of Fame in November. Kerri, you've accomplished so many things, and you do so much work with kids in terms of teaching them volleyball and life. One thing I saw on your website that I wanted to ask you about, in your view, how important is it for kids that play sports to play as many different sports as they can rather than focusing on one thing?
Oh my gosh. Well, if you guys had hours, I'd love to talk to you guys about this. I am a multi-sport athlete. I know that playing many sports growing up and 2 sports in high school was part of my success. Not only developing range as an athlete and being tested in different ways, but mentally and spiritually and emotionally, it's so important, in my opinion, for you to allow yourself to miss something, because that hunger is it's another level of desire and passion and effort that you're willing to put forward something if you are allowed to miss something once in a while and to try new things. And I feel like that's missing in the recipes for a lot of these kids these days. I love that they're so special. I love that they love it so much. However, I really want to support the advocates who say, look, volleyball's in this season, baseball's in this season, basketball's here. We can do it all, and you can still be excellent. And you'll probably be a little healthier for it.
Hey, Kerri, you famously played while pregnant in the London Games in 2012. Could you just talk about how you've balanced being a professional athlete and being a mother, and, what helped you be successful in both areas there?
Well, my support system for sure is why it was all possible. My husband's a champion of his own in beach volleyball, and we committed as a family. I just, my whole life, I couldn't wait to be a working mom. My mom has 8 kids. She coached me, she traveled with me, my dad as well. They were such present parents. And so I knew, because they role modeled for me, that you could be an awesome parent and a badass, human at your career. And so I had that. And like I said, love fueled all of it. And I love being a mom so much. And I love being an athlete so much. So it was never a sacrifice. It's this is what it is. It's a little harder now, but it's more enjoyable. Let's go. Let's make it happen. But I would say my husband is the MVP of all of it. And we work together, and we're both utility players. We know what it means to be on a team. But again, when you love something, you do what it takes. And I loved it all.
So, Kerri, winning that gold medal in London, would that be your
Amazing.
favorite? Would it be your favorite of your gold medals because you were with child?
That was
that's pretty good, right?
Worthy. Incredible. I have to say yes. People always ask that, and it's like having a favorite child. It just should be illegal to say, because without the first one, how do you get a second and a third? And London was my third. So I would say, yeah, London, it was my 3rd time in a row with Misty. We won 3 times in a row, unheard of. and I adore her. And I did it with my babies in the crowd and my daughter in my belly. And you can't really beat that, you know?
Mm-hmm. Kerri, I always tell this story. I actually had the pleasure of meeting you. I used to work in Louisville, and we did a sand beach volleyball.
He tells this story all the time.
Right. Do you remember, sand beach volleyball in Louisville at all? And, because yeah, exactly. And then, so I tell this story, and forgive me if this is inappropriate, but they won't let me. So I did the interview with you and Misty May. It was great. You signed a volleyball for me. I still have it. Really appreciate that. And then later that night, we're out at 4th Street Live. And, we're out hanging, and I'm like, oh, man, that's, I just interviewed her. And so we're on the dance floor. Then I get a tap on my shoulder, and your husband, Casey's like, dude, are you dancing with my wife? And I'm like, oh no. So I tell this story all the time, but hey, he had your back though. He was looking out for you then.
No, my man loves me very much. I don't remember that night because it was a great night. And I think it all started after the win, and then we went bowling, and then we went dancing. And that's a lot. And I think I did get in trouble that night. Happy that we were dance partners, happy that it was a good night. But so yes, I remember, but no, I don't. I don't remember the details.
I still got the volleyball. That's all I know. I still got that. Thank you. So
when we won that tournament, they gave us the Louisville Slugger bats, and that was our trophy. And growing up in a baseball household, I still have that. It's actually by our back door in case someone wants to break in. But I love that trophy, and that event was great.
Kerri Walsh Jennings is with us. I didn't know much about volleyball. Both of our daughters played, and it was great because I got to learn about a sport from them, and it's such a great sport. My question is, doesn't volleyball still have a great deal of growth potential in terms of national popularity? It's a great game, and it just seems like it should be further along in terms of popularity, Kerri.
Popularity-wise, we're actually kicking ass. So where we fall off is in the pro ranks, and so we really do need a strong, stable domestic and international tour. And I'm working on it, boys. But as far as like NCAA and as far as youth, beach volleyball and indoor volleyball are absolutely dominating. It's the number one sport in the country, girls 8 to 18. That's a very big deal. And a lot of boys play as well.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, we need the aspirational tip of the pyramid tour for athletes to be able to look up to someone and say, oh, after college, there is a career path. Right now, it's not a career path. And so people are retiring right after college, or you're older and you have a lot of more money, so you can kind of invest and travel in the sparse tournaments. But things need to change on the pro level, but everywhere else, it's awesome.
Yeah, Kerri joining us. Hey, Kerri, you talked about, trying to grow it in the sports in a great place. What are some of the things you're up to right now? I know you got motherhood going on, obviously, but tell me some of the other things you're involved in.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, yes, I have my 3 kids. I have one, my oldest is at Midi. He's a freshman. He's loving it. And I got 2, 1 in 8th and 1 in 6th. So that takes priority over everything. I have my foundation, P1440 Foundation, where we serve the sport of volleyball through camps and clinics and tournaments, and really training and developing these young athletes' body, mind, and spirit, which is my favorite because I want every young kid and their parents actually to know that they can be and they are the heroes of their own story. And, I'm on the speaking tour. I really do. I'm on a mission to create the Formula One of beach volleyball. So we can have the aspirational, layer to our sport. There's a million things going on, boys. I don't have a one North Star, like volleyball and becoming the best I could be was my North Star for so long. And that, I retired a year ago. And so I kind of feel a little scattered. So I'm still looking for that North Star. But the goal is to be inspired and empowered so I can in turn inspire and empower. And there's a lot of ways to do that.
Hey, Kerri, before we let you go, I'm just looking at all your accomplishments. Do you have like a trophy room at home, a medal room, a trophy house? Like, it's astounding, all the medals you've won over the years. Where do you keep all those?
I don't. And I have like my Olympic medals are in this cute little bag that I take when I go talk to kids and corporations. But no, I don't have these things. My parents probably have most of it. My brother just told me that he found a box of stuff in his garage. If you walk into my house, you will know that we are a sporty family, but not that we were pro athletes. So, but our kids are rising the ring. So hopefully the house will be filled with their stuff soon.
She'll be inducted into the San Jose Sports Hall of Fame November 13th at the SAP Center with many other luminaries, including Mike Holmgren, who we spoke to. Kerri Walsh Jennings, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on the honor. Have a wonderful night, and we hope to talk to you again soon, Kerri.
Thanks, gentlemen. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Take care.
All right, now.
Kerri Walsh.
Man, that was a great interview.
Yeah.
Great. We've done a lot of interviews, but when I heard we were talking to Kerri Walsh Jennings, I got excited.
I know.
Like seriously, because I was such a huge fan of hers. The fact that she went to Stanford, a school I love and I have always followed. And I remember it just like it was yesterday, interviewing her and Misty May Trainer at the time. It was one of the highlights of my career in Louisville.
And it sounds like she remembers some of that too.
Some of it, yeah. A little bit. She remembers going bowling and dancing the night away. It was a good time, man. That was a good. You know what was interesting about that? Because Louisville had never hosted anything like that, beach volleyball. But it was a party, man. Like the energy at these events, if you haven't checked out beach volleyball, like they do a great job making it entertaining, and just the energy and vibe is great.
Let me second that, because living in Los Angeles for almost a dozen years, I had to do a few things down there, and it goes up. You know,
Right.
Manhattan Beach and Huntington Beach, and there's some competitions, of course, because the beach is sitting right there. Pro Volleyball Tour comes through there, and it is an event. Like they literally party all day on the beach.
So how'd I do?
You did great.
That was good. You worked that in pretty well.
And it was a good question because
Right.
it like Drapes kind of set you up with the medal stuff, and then you're
Right.
like, hey, use the London question
yeah,
for
with
the
accent.
yeah, that was dope.
Yeah, I thought that'd be a good way to do it. Then when you mentioned London, I was like,
Yeah.
no.
Oh, was
All
that
right,
your idea? And then I
yeah,
stole it.
Yeah, it worked out.
All right.
Thank
She
you, Jen.
of course. And I just want to say that Kerri called back. She hung up and then called back. I'm like, you guys were absolutely great. So she
Oh,
she
that's
enjoyed
sweet.
the interview.
See?
That's nice.
See,
Yeah.
good boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of hers, man. Huge.
Did you see Drapes grin a little bit when she first came on?
Yeah.
Yeah. I looked up
And
at
she
the
remembered
YouTube
Louisville, too.
and I was like, oh, look at Drapes.
I know,
Yeah.
dude. I started sweating too, man. I was nervous,
Yeah,
man.
He wasn't only grinning.
Right.
Yeah, but that's good. Yeah. We had fun.
Yes, that was great.
Coming up, the good, the bad, the ugly of the first 4 games of the NFL season on an edition of the Drive Guys show we'll never forget. Sactown Sports.
Order for
Carmichael
Jennifer
Dave.
C.